Let's have fish this week.
Great. Go get Vandy Camps.
Vandy Camp's Today's Catch fillets taste remarkably fresh because they're frozen fresh. And they're easy to prepare. They go straight from the freezer to the pan to the plate.
I think they're getting tired.
Vandy Camps, the freshest ideas in frozen fish. Now, try our new microwave breaded fish sticks and fillets.
There's nothing like getting to
Everything you got on this job.
a bowl of soup. Puts me in a real good mood. There's nothing like getting to the bottom of a bowl of soup.
Campbell's Vegetable Soup. So good and so high in vitamin A, it's more than half your daily requirement.
'Cause at the bottom of it all, soup is good food. Campbell.
Get ready for a toothpaste that tastes so great, kids will rush to brush. New Crest for Kids with a flavor that's so different, some kids call it
Berry-licious.
Berry, 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 banana, berry, beef, berry.
Berry-licious.
no matter what they call it, they'll rush to brush.
Bubblemint.
Bubble, 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 bubble.
And while they're enjoying the flavor, they'll be fighting cavities too. New Crest for Kids. It tastes so great, they'll rush to brush.
I may be little, but I'm tough. Better than half those guys, especially Spider Krinsky. He can't dribble for anything. I think Coach keeps me on the bench because I'm small. That makes me so mad. I explained it to Mom. Now she gives me extra big breakfast so I can grow. Arrayed hash browns, eggs, the works. I put it away. And I tell Mom that arrayed hash browns make you taller faster, so she gives me more. Dad says I'm pretty smart for a jock.
Strike up the band on Monday. CBS proudly presents Comedy with Newhart at 9, 8 Central and Mountain, and Designing Women at 9:30, 8:30 Central and Mountain. So strike up the band on Monday and laugh it up with us.
Friday, Bobby Colomby introduces another spectacular in-concert lineup. From Wang Chung, The System, The Heaters, to Grammy winner Anita Baker. They're all in person from the Palace.
Saturday, Sidney Sheldon's epic best-selling chronicle continues to unfold the troubled reign of the Blackwells, one of the world's most powerful families, torn apart by greed, lust, and revenge. Part 3 of Master of the Game this Saturday on CBS.
This is CBS.
New steak fajitas. Think of it as a Mexican steak sandwich.
I don't mind working hard, but I'll tell you how I feel. I work an honest day, and I want an honest deal.
Even if you shop after work, you'll still find plenty of fresh produce at Safeway because we keep putting out new produce day and night. Now that's an honest deal.
I work an honest day, and I want an honest deal.
Safeway, where you get an honest deal every day.
Benson, tonight at 10:30 on Channel 6.
Tulsa Ballet Theater, a national treasure in our own backyard.
KOTV salutes the free enterprising spirit of Tulsa's hot team.
There are an awful lot of good success stories in town, and we want to be the forum to get the good news.
Try adding some extra.
The more cheese, the better the pizza.
Cheese, mountains of cheese, oodles of cheese, glorious cheese.
That cool, refreshing feeling of Wrigley's Spearmint Gum puts a sparkle in your eye, a spring in your step. It makes things lots of fun. It's that little lift, Wrigley's Spearmint Gum. It's that little lift. Come on and get you some. That clean, fresh taste Wrigley's Spearmint's got. That little lift that means a lot. It's that little lift, Wrigley's Spearmint Gum.
'Twas the holiday party, and all through Bubba's bar, not a creature was drinking that was driving a car. When what to Myrtle's wondering eyes should appear, but Junior, his arms filled with holiday cheer, his eyes how they twinkled, all bloodshot but merry, his breath like a brewery, his nose like a cherry. Ho, ho, ha, exclaimed Myrtle, dashing away his brew. Looks to me like you had more than a few. So with Myrtle me driving, they rode out of sight, wishing happy holidays to all, and to all a safe night.
Well, friends, you got trouble. Trouble right here.
Right here in Tulsa City.
Over $2 billion inched its way out of Tulsa last year. Consider this. If only 5% of that money spent by Tulsa business stayed here at home, it would equal the revenue produced by over 8,000 new jobs. What can you do? Call the free Buy Tulsa hotline to help you find potential local firms to shop or help you identify a market void you could fill. Call 592-7999. You find Tulsa business, it finds you. Tulsa.
The buck stays here. The Oklahoma Sinfonia and Chorale perform KOTB's Share the Spirit.
Hi, I'm Wayman Tisdale. Growing up, I was fortunate to have family, friends, and coaches who helped me develop my talents and skills as an athlete. These kids have the potential to realize their goals and dreams too, but they need your help. Call Big Brothers and Sisters of Green Country if you would like to become a volunteer for our program. One of our waiting little brothers or sisters would really appreciate it, and you might be surprised. Being a big brother or sister may help you realize your potential also. For more information, call 582-6866.
This is new Coronet Angel Soft Bath Tissue. We've asked some spokes angels to tell you what most impresses them about it.
Wow.
New two-layer Angel Soft Bath Tissue, in the inimitable words of those who have tried it, is Angel Soft.
Ronald McDonald
And our chicken McNuggets.
and Dip to Maloo.
Oh boy, I just love square dancing.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Don't see do go round and round. Get real busy and fall down. The barbecue sauce all tasty and fresh. And Dip to Maloo McNuggets.
Are you Lou? No, who's Lou?
You guys are all a little Lulu.
It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's.
Friday on the CBS Summer Playhouse. Once was a time when a man's honor outweighed the force of evil. Today, that spirit is challenged again. Brandon Lee stars in Kung Fu, The Next Generation, Friday.
Summer great. No homework, no gym class, no cafeteria food. Driving with the top down, open air concerts in the park. Gonna wear tank tops, shorts, swimsuits. Summer is vastly overrated.
Spend your summer with My Sister Sam, Mondays.
AIDS is a killer that does not discriminate. All Americans need to know the basic facts. Write AIDS, Box 14252, Washington, D.C. 20044.
I'm not ready to go yet, okay? I'm not ready. You gotta wait. I got shit to do. I'm in the middle of something. All right? Just hold on.
Watch your mouth or don't come in here.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, people, come on, we're adults here. You know what? What is the point?
Yeah, we're adults here. I got a fucking Burger King fucking thing on my head. We're all fucking adults here, guys. People in my chat, 2 words. What are they? 2 words. Let me see the chat flood. Let me see the chat flood. 2 words. Okay. Next caller. Please. Let's get into the meat and potatoes, which translate in American to dick and balls.
I got flip-flops. These are my flip-flops. Yeah, I really like my flip-flops because I can put them on. Because look, watch me put them on. I can put them on all by myself. Watch me put them on. Look, are you watching? Look, these are my flip-flops.
Thanksgiving Day. I remember it clearly. It was Thanksgiving Day. I was inserting myself in somebody else's fucking business as a cash grab, and you know. This channel is harsh reality.
Karen Yak se jodió la sucia vida. Amen.
This is Jonathan Lee Riches. I have cheeseburgers. I'm gonna put cheese on them. I'm gonna make sure that I have my hamburgers because I'm a big boy now and I can make the hamburgers. My mom lets me use the stove now.
I love that part.
And I'm just like, wow, I like receipts, and they brought receipts. Like they had evidence to back up everything they said. And I'm like, okay, well, there's got to be another side to this, right? Like this can't. No, this is too fantastic.
Yeah, because you're not going to just jump to the conclusion that there's a conspiracy amongst cops to cover up a murder. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean cops and just like soccer moms and shit. Like that's what made it even crazier. Like,
yeah, get it, Betty. Yeah,
did you have a close relationship with your mom?
Get it, Betty.
Oh, of course, I still do.
Yeah.
My older sister was kind of sad. She was more of the prissy girl that like going
that is
and
the
getting her
best
done.
shit fucking
Shopping for the dresses with mommy. I was the tomboy that liked playing with the
Shout out to Cherry for just being just easily the most faithful and loyal supporter that I've ever had. That someone could have that tenacity with loyalty. And I'm really blessed to have someone like Cherry be part of this channel and in my life. So it means a lot. And yes, I named him after Mr. T and Rocky. Say, woman. Say, woman. Say, woman. Since your old man ain't got no heart, why don't you come down to my apartment tonight and I'll show you a real man. Oh my God, I'm so in love with this little dude. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I love you guys very, 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 very much. And we will do this again very soon, my friends. Oh, say bye. Say bye. Oh, I love you too. Give me a kiss. Oh, I love you. Bye, guys.
Good afternoon, people. Happy Friday. You M to F 9 to 5ers. I hope everybody's having a great week and great start to your weekend. It's really good to see you. YOLO. I almost named Clubber YOLO. That's a fact. I almost named Clubber YOLO just to troll Cherry. That's a fact. That happened. I actually forgot. That's what happened. I fell so in love with Clubber when I finally got him that like thinking about trolling Cherry wasn't a factor. And now it's too late. But I almost called Clubber YOLO. Can you imagine? YOLO, get away from there. It would have driven her fucking crazy, bro. Like, I'm all about it. I'm all about it. People, listen. We've already talked about everything that really matters, and I'm sure these things are going to come up because what we're going to do. I think I've made this a regular thing because here's the thing: is Plevin. No wait. Plevin's a fucking idiot. Okay, he's just plain dumb. And the thing is he's not. Well, no, okay. Plevin's retarded. That's a better way to put it. Because he's willfully ignorant. Again, I would never use the word retarded to describe someone with an actual mental health or intellectual deficiency. But someone who is willfully ignorant, that's a choice. And so therefore, it's a good word, and I'm keeping it alive by slapping it all over the willfully ignorant, such as Plevin. So Plevin, yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty fair at this point. I don't know how Plevin's gonna feel about it. But I don't know. Plevin, how do you feel about it, buddy? What do you think?
I'm retarded?
There you go, buddy. There you go. That's it. Right. Now, the thing about that is I say that because he's clearly he understands the difference between right and wrong. He understands that he understands the concept of reasonable doubt. He understands all of these things. And I think that he is so terrible at being the opposition that I don't share people's theory that he is, even though he might be in touch with them or whatever. I don't know about all that. I don't care about all that. I'm saying I just don't see him being the paid mouthpiece for the alleged conspirators in the Karen Reed case. I feel like they could do better. I feel like they could do a lot better, bro. I feel like Jen McCabe, Brian Albert, Chris Albert could do a lot better. I mean, the only thing that makes me think otherwise is, I mean, you've got Michael Morrissey's choice in a special prosecutor, but I mean, you get what you get, right? If you're going to get a guy who's got nothing to lose, like Ken Mello, you're going to get a guy like that with nothing to lose. His career's already down the toilet. You're going to take a guy like this. Well, then you're going to get a half-ass job. There's a reason why his career is in the toilet, because he does a half-ass job. These are all very obvious things to people with common sense. So to me, it's very interesting that Plevin will sit there and the thing is the reason why I know also that he's willfully ignorant, and I don't feel guilty using the word retarded to describe him, is had I watched that situation, that exchange with Lauren, and I mean, after watching him have an exchange with Sean, and then with Lauren, anybody who opposes him, he gets offended and he gets upset. He'll either play victim or he'll rage quit. But either way, he'll play victim. Either way, it's just a question of how he reacts to playing victim, how he expresses playing victim. But he always goes this route, and it's so seeing him interact with other people and having these so-called conversations or so-called debates with people over the facts of this case. I'm convinced that he knows better. He's just convincing himself for some reason and justifying in his mind that spewing out this bullshit is somehow productive. I don't know, but he knows. I mean, he has to know. Because, on the surface, the things that he puts together and says are somewhat coherent. But the thing is what I see as a guy with strong insecurities. This is why I don't hate the guy. This is why I'm like, whatever, I you know what I mean? I this is my opinion of him, but I don't feel any way about the dude. And so the thing is him, being this way, it's clear that this is someone with serious insecurity issues, constantly, with the whole I'm a bartender and I'll make you a great Bloody Mary, and blah, 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 blah. And then he's talking about how he's a writer, and he pays the extra on Twitter so he can write these long-winded, contradictory, ridiculous thoughts about this case. And it's just, and he's reached a point to where he has to stoop to a level of annoying people so that he'll be noticed. Think about that for a second. So that he'll be noticed, so that he'll be relevant, he has taken a path that consists of being irritating and trying to annoy people. So this is what this is exactly what did I? Okay. Oh my goodness. Hold on, people.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. I think we got a 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 super dad. Super dad.
Yes, a very special happy birthday to Sherry. Thank you. Oh, does he, Super Proctor? I'm actually planning on going over a few of those, actually. I think I'll just stick to YouTube, but it's pretty funny here, folks. But I think, yeah, he's not a difficult guy to figure out. Like if he makes you mad, seriously, like if he makes you mad, you fell right into his trap. Like that's his whole thing, clearly, because there's no other explanation for him with his level of intelligence to say things that are just so asinine on a consistent basis. There's no other explanation. What makes perfect sense is that he does this in order to get a rise out of you. And the reason why he does this to get a rise out of you, the reason why he wants to get a rise out of you, is that is the only way he can get you to read what he writes. It is the only way to elicit an emotion from you. And as pathetic as it is, he will go to the low-hanging fruit and elicit the annoyance emotion from you, the irritated emotion from you, frustrated, anger, but very low levels of it. That's and if you allow him to anger you, he wins. So what I'm going to do, what I've decided that I'm going to do, and I'm going to announce it. This is how confident I am in my efforts. I'm just going to make it a regular thing to troll Plevin. That's what I'm going to do. No alternate accounts. I don't do that shit. I'm just going to troll him until he blocks me. That's what I'm going to do. That's where I'm at. I mean, in the downtime of this case, how the fuck else am I supposed to spend my time? You know what I mean? In my downtime, when in between hearings, and there's a lot going on. You know what I mean? Not only are we following Karen Reed's case, but we're following Turtle Boy, and we're following the Canton Nine. We're following what goes on in the select board meetings. There's a lot happening. This case has generated a lot of shit. Oh my goodness.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad. I think we got a super dad.
Tom CPU, thank you. Plevin has never been to 34 Fairview. Kisses to Cherry, and sorry about the sound yesterday morning. Thanks for all you do, Will. Thank you for all you do, Tom. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. This is just very funny to me. This is a guy who's like, I'm from Beantown. If Ben Affleck and Matt Damon can write a screenplay and then give it to a guy who's going to get like the ultimate Me Too because he's a fucking piece of shit and ended up going to prison for sexual assault, and he greenlit this movie, made it happen for Ben Affleck, and they're from Beantown. Well, then that could happen for my fucking 70-year-old ass, or however old Plevin is. He's probably like, what's Plevin, like 50 maybe? I mean, I'm not trying to take jabs. Like, I mean, I said 70 joking around, but like, I'm old. You know what I mean? I'm nobody to like take jabs at somebody's age. But again, this is the thing, man. Yeah, I'm just gonna troll Plevin, dude, because there's nothing else to do. You know what I mean? And it's deserved. I feel justified in it. You know what I mean? Like, he just continues to just drop nonsense. You know what I mean? He just continues to drop absolute utter nonsense. And to me, it's just funny at this point. And so, like, I find myself going, well, why don't I just entertain this shit for a while? Like, make this fun for me. So that's what I decided I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna make this fun for me. He's like another Bullhorn Betty in the sense that, like, you could always count on him to not make jack shit of sense. And it's easy. I could just take a Plevin stream out of a hat, dude, and play it, and I'll get something out of it, dude. I'll give you something out of it. Like, okay, you want me to address this? Listen, I'll invite him on here. He could come on here, but here's my prediction. Plevin is not going to be able to handle talking to me. His feelings can't handle it, because I'm not going to hold back. I'm not going to hold back sarcasm. I'm not going to hold back anything. And he can do the same thing. I don't care if you want to call that uncivil. I say it's civil. I say whoever can handle it can handle it. But he's not going to be able to handle it, because Plevin has shown a pattern of playing victim. So, but he's welcome to come on here and we can try it. I mean, I'm perfectly willing to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I've seen him debate. And that's played a role into my decision here. So as long as this case is going on and he's talking about it, I'm just gonna like review it because it's just fun. You can't go wrong because he's never gonna say anything that's actually fucking worthwhile. Was mellow in one flew over the cuckoo's nest. Who would have he been? Mr. Martini? Like a really ugly version of Mr. Martini? Hotel. Oh my God. All right. Let me see what we got here. We got a bunch of short videos here. Just a couple actually. But we'll watch them both. These are fucking funny. Telling you right now, these things are funny. These are made by Young Jerks. You all know Young Jerks, Mike. He posted these. I thought they were really funny.
They may not exactly match.
What purpose did you have to speaking with Miss Panties, if not for?
Listen, I'm not gonna ask you again, please. If you can talk about anybody you want.
You know, does this not bother you if that is one of your sources that you're relying on someone?
I didn't mention her as a source. You're mentioning her.
Like he's doing the same thing fucking Bitch Tim did when Bitch Tim was on here. Like I also learned my lesson from him too. Like, you know, I'm not going to go into these things with any expectation that these people who willfully throw out illogical, insane, fucking bullshit justifications for a very corrupt investigation. I'm not going to give these people any respect when I talk to them. No. Like, why should I? You know what I mean? Like, that's where I'm at now. Like, I can't stress this enough. Like, I've been doing a lot of thinking and I can't stress this enough. Like, why should I be civil? If you know me already to be the type of person who isn't civil, why should I, you know, like, know what you're getting into? Don't expect anything from me other than how I'm going to react to you saying something fucking stupid. And if you come on here and I call you out on saying something fucking stupid, don't cry about it. Or if I make my show funny and entertaining at your expense because you are putting me in a position to make it very easy, I mean, that's on you, okay? So and the same thing goes for me. Like, if you say something funny that burns me, I'm gonna give you credit, man. It's great, you know. We're here to entertain, you know, but at the same time, I have strong feelings about the truth. I have very strong feelings about people's First Amendment rights. As Randazza said himself, it's the first one for a reason. It's the first one. There's Lauren in the chat there. It's good to see you, Lauren. I mean, so I'm to that point. So anybody, and I think everybody, this is why Bullhorn Betty has never joined me. I've always offered her to come up here. This is why, and Dolly Vision did it once. Dolly Vision let me on his panel once, and he got owned, and he's still up to the same shit. It didn't make any difference. But then, I mean, JLR will never come up here. Never, ever, ever in his life will he come up here. Because the thing is I'm going to face these people with inevitable questions. Inevitable questions. And questions that somebody who would be afraid to get kicked off or be afraid to have someone rage quit over it. You know, fuck all that. You know what I mean? If you're gonna have a conversation with me, you're gonna get me to speak my mind. Period. So yeah, if Plevin wants to come up here, he's more than welcome. But there's no sense in me going on his channel because he's just gonna boot me off. I'm just letting you know right now.
But you mentioned that
okay?
you talked to
And
her. So
her-
what purpose would you possibly have to talk to her?
and that's Kate is not really a major source for anything. I haven't talked to her in a while. I like Kate.
Most importantly, Kate Peter. And Kate Peter is now my primary source.
And that's Kate is not really a major source for anything. I haven't talked to her in a while. I like Kate.
Kate Peter is now my primary source, and that's Kate is not really
Kate is not really a major source for anything. I haven't talked to her in a while. I like Kate.
Most importantly, Kate Peter. And Kate Peter is now my primary source.
And that's Kate is not really a major source for anything. I haven't talked to her in a while. I like Kate.
Kate Peter is now my primary source, and that's Kate is not really a major source for anything. I haven't talked to her in a while. I like Kate.
And that's Kate is not really a major source for anything. I haven't talked to her in a while. I like Kate.
Kate Peter is now my primary source.
That is the funniest shit ever,
I took
dude.
the liberty of adapting a
Hold on. I'm gonna get deaned for that one. Hold on, I gotta pull this up again. That was so fucking funny. I was laughing too hard to catch that. I have to I have to see that shit. I have to see the other one that he did here. Hold on. Where's the other one? Okay. This was like 5 minutes long. So funny. This is all Young Jerks, man. This is Mike from Young Jerks doing this shit. This shit is fucking great.
And it's the affidavit. All right. Bang, to the boys. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang. Yo, we'll fuck any of you dogs up. Bang, yo, bang. You challenge my boys. Bang, bang. You know, people need to do some soul searching. And did you give attention to people like,
okay, like, see what I mean? Like, I can't hate this guy. How am I supposed to fucking hate this guy? Look at the joy that he brings me. Look at the fucking joy. What kind of an asshole would I be if I hated this guy? Like, this guy's a blessing, bro. Give me a fucking break. You guys are looking at this all wrong. I'm telling you. You guys are looking at this all wrong. This guy is just a fountain of fucking joy. Like, it's all in how you look at things. I promise.
the grifter, the glare? The guy's a pure grifter. All right. He doesn't believe in anything. I guarantee he doesn't. It's not that he doesn't believe that Tony's innocent and guilty. He doesn't care. He doesn't look at the evidence. It's not about that for him. It's about appealing to an audience to build viewers and riding that out as long as it lasts. He's from Tennessee. As soon as it's over, he'll find somewhere else to grift. It's a good scam. He knows that conspiracies sell. He's not stupid.
Bro, I love this guy, right? I love that this guy, literally all you have to do is just, all my content's up. I've never covered anything like this. All my content's up. Most of my content is trashing people who exploit victims. That's literally most of my content, which is really, really funny. I absolutely take pride in exploiting people who exploit victims. I absolutely take pride in it. And I have for a long time, and I always will. But this dude is like saying that I'm just gonna like fuck off when well, what do you want me to do? You want me to just dwell on a case once it's closed? Because the truth is, of course, if there's nothing left to talk about, why would I continue talking about it? what is he talking about? What is his rationale for coming to this conclusion exactly? Boo hoo hoo. When the case is over, Glaire's going to leave. Glaire's going to leave where? What do you mean? I'm going to be sitting right here. I'm going to be sitting right here. And yes, I'm going to talk about other cases, as I have many times prior to this case. I mean, and yes, I make money on here. And yes, you make money too, Plevin. I mean, yeah. People give you what they feel you're worth. And for me, that's just simply something to be grateful for. It's something I'm simply grateful for. That's it. So, I mean, if I'm giving you exactly what I'm telling you that I'm giving you, well, then how is that a grift? I mean, I offer the options to donate to Karen Reed's fund, to Turtle Boy's fund, to the Canton 9 fund. I offer those options. You are free to do whatever you want. I'm just grateful that people watch. But, like, this is your response when you see that I review you and counter your logic and show that there's no logic to any of your thoughts in this case. I mean, everyone does it. That's the whole thing. The most fascinating thing about Plevin is that this is what everyone does. It's Plevin against the world. You know what I mean? Like, there's nobody with a brain that supports this guy. Nobody that's actually done any real research. Nobody who can apply any type of critical thinking. I mean, we're talking about these people, like, I see them on Twitter all the time, and the most beneficial to the conversation thing that they can do is maybe create a video. Like, take for example, this guy's main number one dude that he respects in the whole Karen Reed, John O'Keefe community. The one guy he respects the most is Grant. And then Grant posted this ridiculous thing of, like, this pause of Karen Reed leaving and throwing up the I love you, the universal I love you hand symbol. And I mean, I watched it live. Tom CPU was right in front of her. Got the shot. She did that. And then I took a screenshot because he got it when, I guess, the thumb, or he altered it, or the thumb was not out or something. But she clearly did the full I love you and said I love you. She mouthed the words I love you. So, like, you know what I mean? These types of people are Plevin people. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's not that brings nothing to the conversation. So what is your argument here? That Karen Reed is evil? We're bringing back satanic panic to support your Karen Reed is guilty pitchfork mob bullshit. That's what we're doing. We're bringing back satanic panic. That's where you've gone, Plevin and Grant. I mean, it's it's just so funny. That's all you have to do is just look at the people. Look at the people who give Brandy Churchwell, 13th juror, a hard time. And it's good to see you, Brandy. Thanks for being here. I mean, look at all you have to do is just look at the nature of character of these people. This guy beats dogs and women. There's like nothing. There's nothing to say that I ever did that. Like, it's insane, you know? Which is funny. I mean, like, it doesn't bother me because it's just not fucking true. So it doesn't bother me. So, but like, if that's what you have to bring to the conversation, that tells me everything about you. I have no interest in knowing who some dickhead who calls himself Thunder Muffin is. I have no interest in knowing who that person is or anything about his past. I have no interest whatsoever in anything about Thunder Muffin. A man who calls himself fucking Thunder Muffin. You know what I mean? So when you have people like this who are on Twitter and you expect me to take your argument seriously when these are the people who listen to what you say, Plevin? These are the people who log on to your live streams? I mean, and I'm supposed to take you seriously.
Stupid. He just doesn't care. He's not looked into the evidence. He probably never looked into anything seriously in his life. He's found an easy way to grift. That's what grifters
debatable.
do.
Yeah.
But how many people are supporting him by watching him, by feeding that? I don't know. So I think people that are doing that
at
some point have to do some soul searching in this case.
592 at the moment, Kevin's.
Somebody
99
mentioned Dave had a very good get together this weekend at a BFW post. I understand it went very well. And somebody there mentioned, what's the deal with Kevin? Is this just, I've worked in the medical industry, and people that have cancer have anger and are lashing out. No, come on. That's crazy. I mean, I really only expressed anger once on this show, and it built up all summer. It was frustration at myself, disappointment in myself.
It was a pressure cooker in me.
Silently.
And then you've got fucking heels in the air. I have a question. You told me that Aiden during a hearing talked about Josh Levy communicating with defense. I can't find that hearing. Obviously, answer after your call.
When I watched
heels in the air is another. Yeah, she's a fucking idiot too.
People being called.
All of these people have one thing that drives them. Okay, spite. That's another thing. That, like, when the template of everything that you say in regards to this case is spite. When that happens, then it's a very, very weak foundation. It's not going to hold. It's never going to hold. Oh my goodness, what is happening?
I think we got a super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. Super chat. Super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat.
Buzzy for Truth, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Why would you want him to be your PR? I don't really think that he is. Like, not officially. You know what I mean? I think he's just like inserted himself into doing that to get some sort of I don't know, maybe he's scared of living in that town and who knows. But Heels is only supporting him because everyone else hurt her fifis by calling her a racist cunt. A racist.
You're a little cunt.
A racist.
Oi, cunt.
racist cunt.
You're a magnificent cunt.
Yes, that is exactly what heels is. There's proof out there.
Called horseface, and I didn't say anything. I felt a lot of frustration at that. And then I also just, for myself, my approach has always been to ask questions. And I was doing what Aiden called the both sides thing. And I understood. I think most people should understand common sense that what we were getting was a defense theory and defense jobs. And the defense job in a trial is to concoct theories out of the little pieces that are left over and try to sell it. And people should have some kind of common sense understanding that that was what was going on. It doesn't mean, I don't mean this, I'm not saying that the defense was wrong, but that's what defenses do. And we hadn't seen the other side. And I was just asking regular questions about that and was getting attacked very hard for it. And it felt like a really lonely spot because to me, it felt like I was the only one asking questions. Now, that's not true. There were others, but I just wasn't aware of them. I didn't know where they were. If they had a Facebook group, I wasn't invited. I didn't know where it was.
Now I'm going to say something a little
and I'm sure the
controversial here.
The McCabe's,
okay, Kevin
felt that 1,000 times more.
You need to shut the fuck up.
Thank you, Penn or Teller, whichever one you are. How can you hate Karen? She's beautiful, classy, educated, and brilliant. Okay, fair enough. But I'm going to play devil's advocate on that. People are like, what the fuck, Claire? What the fuck are you doing? I mean, if you genuinely believe that she killed a cop, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, that's fair, you know, if you genuinely believe. I don't think that Plevin believes that Karen is guilty. That's my point. I don't think that any of these people actually believe that Karen is guilty. Because you can't develop a belief if you have not done enough research, right? So I'm speaking about other people. Plevin here, okay? Plevin here, he's done the research. He has a selective, he just finds the things that seem to fit his narratives and then leaves the things out that would disprove what he's talking about. He does this all the time. And he knows that Karen Reed is innocent. He knows that she does not stand a chance, or I'm sorry, that the prosecution does not stand a chance if this is a fair trial. And we have already an overwhelming amount of reason to believe that Karen is not going to get a fair trial because she has not gotten fair treatment to this point. Everything that District Attorney Morrissey's office has done has been shady. And every decision that Judge Bev makes, every move she makes is questionable. It's crazy. I mean, right now, the most recent antic after everything, and I'm talking to the people who are familiar with the case. Think about this for a second. Put this into perspective for a second. Just entertain yourselves for a second here with this thought. That this prosecution, the latest thing that they've done is try to cheat the public who have nothing to do with the case of their First Amendment right to free speech and assembly. I mean, think about that. That's not even to mention what they've done to Turtle Boy, what they've done to the Canton Nine. That's not even to bring that up. I'm saying at this point, and this dude fucking defended it. And we're going to watch him defend it. We're going to watch him. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, because here's my whole thing. You are not an American if you choose to support that decision by Judge Cannoni just in order to feed your narrative that you're too busy spinning about someone's guilt. This has nothing to do with Karen Reed, guilty or innocent. That's the crazy thing about this, that this was filed by the prosecutor in her case, but this has nothing to do with Karen Reed's guilt or innocence. So the audacity of Lolly and Michael Morrissey's office to file that motion is outrageous, and everyone should be pissed about it. That's the whole thing, is like, who gives a shit? Like, this is, you put the Karen Reed guilt or innocence thing aside for a second. This is your freedom we're talking about. Every single one of you, you, Grant, who you consider yourself a journalist, how the fuck can you support that? That is clearly a slippery slope. If you consider yourself a journalist, how can you possibly support that? For the sake of what? Looking like you're being wishy-washy on your own narrative? That's stupid. Because I'm not going to look at it that way. I'm not going to think one way or the other that it has anything to do with your opinion on Karen Reed. Not at all. Not Plevin, not anybody. That's not going to affect how I look at them and their opinion on this case. Right now, I'm looking at them as un-American for supporting that motion just because it's coming from the side that they support. If Yannetti and Jackson were to do something like that, I'd be just as fucking loud about it right now as I am. Believe that. So, I mean, it shows you how low this has gotten. Tell me I'm wrong. How low has this gotten when people whose interests it serves to have freedom of speech the most, such as somebody like Plevin with a YouTube channel and a Twitter account where he gets to spew out all of his bullshit, such as Grant, who shows up and goes to the courthouse stairs himself, considers himself a journalist. They stifle anyone for anything that involves the First Amendment, and it opens the door for you to be affected later if you're not this time around. Grant, Plevin. That's a fact. You cannot deny this. So it tells me everything I need to know about your character when you're willing to compromise your convictions that you would claim to have as a patriot. Because it's the opposite of patriotic, really, if you support that. If you support Michael Morrissey. I mean, there were other solutions. Randazza, although his language was colorful, he gave and provided perfectly logical solutions. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad. I think we got a super dad.
Freedom Speech Press Assembly. You are correct. Love your channel. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Freedom Speech Press Assembly, and you win handle of the day. Oh, up.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. think we got a super chat. I think we got a super.
Okay, buzzing for truth. Thank you for shits and giggles. Yes, always for shits and giggles.
Because they're being attacked by friends and neighbors and people they've worked with and frequent in their business. Not all of them. A lot of people supported him, but it must have been shocking to find that.
Oh, and thank you for becoming a new member.
But I felt that in my own way on the channel. Like nobody that was with me was asking questions or believed, at least early on, believed in. They all fully supported the conspiracy. There was a point later where they questioned it, but didn't want to do so publicly. It was a difficult spot for me to be in. I didn't want the mob to go after my partners because the mob is nasty.
As he
As it see it now, certainly. And yes, there are sometimes people on both sides that do it, but that
as it started, and the turtle mob is nasty. Shut the fuck up, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh my goodness. Hold on. No, it's not on yet. It's coming on in like 8 minutes. So what's going on with I don't know, is Young Jerks live right now? So yeah, like no, 7:30. So like, yeah, I don't feel any any distress over anything I say about Plevin at this point. Because he's just, I mean, again, you just can't get angry with this dude, bro. Oh my goodness, not enough coffee to wrap my brain around Thunder Muffin and his goddamn sense. That dude has no sense, man. Like, dude, fucking Thunder Twat. Yeah, Lord absolutely destroyed Plevin. Yeah, he's got some bullshit music playing or something. I'm listening for it to start. See, I got it here. It's counting down. Will cast to 75-inch TV, Mike on tablet, Plevin on phone. Wow. No, it's already started, man. He's got 5 people waiting, which includes me. I mean, well, you don't have to. You could just watch it here. I'm going to stream it. I'm just going to snipe them because I'm a dick like that. And it's fair use. So, like, it's just, I'm to the point where I'm just like, I don't give a shit anymore. Like, he's not contributing anything useful to this case at all, other than reasons to make fun of him. So, I do like that he samples the $6 Million Man intro, man. That's cool that he likes $6 Million Man. I like $6 Million Man. Yeah, because dude, this is happening. Like the feds have opened up an investigation into Sandra Birchmore, dude. That is fucking crazy. That's exactly what that case needs. That's exactly what that case needs. So, man, yeah, it's dude, right? I'm telling you, dude, Lee Majors was like the coolest fucking dude in the world, bro. The Fall Guy. There's a Fall Guy movie coming out with Ryan Gosling playing Lee Majors' role. Colt Seavers. Bionic Woman was dope too, man. I like those the reunion ones. I like the reunion ones that happened in like the late 80s. Dude. Yeah, I'm just trying to see what he just got his shit pulled up here. Let's see what his chat looks like. Hold on. That's a yeah, he's not live yet. It's because it still says 5 waiting. Oh, 31 watching. Chips, bro. Dude, Chips had the dopest fucking theme song, man. Yeah, the bionic sound effects, most definitely. Hold on, I think I've got that here. Hold on a second. That's not me. I guess he's planning on streaming me. This should be fun. No, that's not me. Here we go. This used to be my text tone. This used to be my text tone. Is he streaming? No, he's not. I've got him pulled up right here. He's just waiting for people to shuffle in. I mean, I'm just gonna wait patiently for it to start. Hold on, let's. Nothing. Still nothing. No, I don't think he ever blocked me. Let's see what his chat's saying. You guys want to see what his chat's saying? They locked me up. For closing foot in the door, people stumbling in like a bunch of hobos. I can't wait for all the evidence to come out in trial. Me too, Jeff. That's what I'm saying. I know you know. You're just rooting for the other side.
Hey guys, good evening. I had a bunch of stuff lined up. I still have it lined up, but the computer seems to be a little sluggish, so I rebooted. We'll keep an eye on it. It means I have to kind of line things up again as we go. But good night. Good to see everybody. Hope you guys are getting ready for a great weekend. If this was 25 years ago, I'd be getting ready to go out. So hopefully some of you guys are still young enough where you are thinking of getting ready to go out. Although usually back then we wouldn't go out until 10,
Oh
11
my
o'clock at night
goodness.
anyways. But hi guys, hi Jeff, hi everybody. Let me run this little clip here that somebody sent me. This is from the Guerrero.
I think we got a super chat.
Sorry, kids. And there's a good chance that one of these camera angles will show the condition of the taillight. TikTok, one of the most absurd conspiracy theories in history, is about to disappear like April snow. So if you like the snow, enjoy it for a few days. Yeah, and I love Sean to death. But if I'm being 150% honest, I could give a fuck about the gripe about the taillight between the on. Oh, I absolutely said that shit. Taking place between Plevin and Sean. I don't give a fuck about that because I don't think, and like I said, it's no disrespect to Sean. What I mean is, that's such a small thing.
So it's kind of extraordinary for him to say that it's a small thing. And he probably says it because he actually has a very small mind. The host has muted my video. Well, hopefully you guys can still hear me. One thing that me and Sean agree with.
Like he missed the entire point of me saying that.
Both back this summer,
like the
and
whole
all the way
point is,
through. And
the reason why I said that, folks, is because I feel like arguing over the details of when the tail light pieces were removed, when it was whatever, in court, ultimately, that's not going to matter, is what I'm saying. Because the chain of custody is so fucked, and the person in charge is under investigation internally right now for his methods. I mean, this guy found the pieces of taillight through 5 undocumented searches. The clothing in which John O'Keefe supposedly had microscopic fibers of taillight found in them were sitting on a hospital floor. There's pictures of it, and then weren't logged into evidence for another 3 weeks at least. So that's the stuff that's going to matter in court. Ultimately, going back and forth about what's going on and who messed with the taillight, is it interesting? Sure. I'm not denying that. Sure, it's fascinating to know how the process of taking the taillight, fucking with it, and planting it in order to frame an innocent woman, it's absolutely fascinating, of course. But my point being is, going over that over and over and over again, jabbing each other back and forth, at the end of the day, I don't care about it because it's not going to matter in court. This case has gone to trial now. And so the absolute facts are what's going to matter. And the absolute, I do not expect, now I'd like to see it, but I do not expect Jackson Yannetti to do anything beyond creating a massive amount of doubt on all of the evidence that the prosecution claims to have. That's it. That's the least that I expect, but the most that I expect too. I think that they have done a tremendous job. They have done an amazing, tremendous job of investigating and putting together their motions. I mean, they went all in and went for a dismissal of the charges and a disqualification of the Norfolk County DA's office, and for good reason. For good reason. So they went all in so this wouldn't go to trial, because of course they're going to try to avoid trial. But because she's innocent, of course. Why you don't want an innocent person to have to stand trial. You want them to just fucking go home. So if you can make that happen, of course you're going to do that. But the thing is there's something that's very interesting. And I thought about this, I think, the last time I was live, but there's only so many people. You have to look at the people whose actions are dictating that they're driven by the want for justice for John. You have to look at people who are doing what they're doing. Who is liable to gain? So, when I see people like Michael Morrissey, and I see the McAlberts, everybody seems so self-serving, very, very self-serving. Nothing, there's no purity to the nature of these people's actions. And here I'm seeing Karen Reed's defense team, not only because it's so easy for them to just create doubt. The Commonwealth has no case against Karen Reed. They don't have anything solid. Everything is riddled with holes. Everything that they plan to bring as evidence is riddled with holes. It's very easy for the defense to show those holes. It's very easy for them to do that. But the thing is, though, is they're going beyond that. They're going beyond that and saying that there's something amiss. Something very dirty is going on here. And why are we the only ones who seem to be interested in getting this man justice? You know what I mean? That's very telling to me. Why is the person who all she needs to do is show that the prosecution can't prove that she did it? That's literally the limit of her defense team's obligations, is to show a jury that the prosecution failed to give solid enough evidence to there's doubt. Everything is riddled with doubt. So it's very easy for them to do this, yet they're going beyond. Why are they the only ones that seem so interested in getting justice for John and getting to the truth? Because yes, the truth will exonerate Karen Reed, but the truth is that the lack of a case that the prosecution has will exonerate Karen Reed. I mean, the investigators just fucked this up from the word go. So, I mean, it's not that difficult to if you followed a couple of trials, this is something that you'll know.
Including now, is that the taillight is absolutely essential to any conspiracy. Okay? If there was no
I never said it wasn't,
of
dickhead.
taillight pieces, there is zero chance of there being a conspiracy. The taillight pieces come from Karen's SUV. Okay? So unless somebody planted those pieces, there's no conspiracy. And Karen is guilty. And that's just fundamental to the case. Sean knows it. I know it. That's something we still agree on. Lara doesn't understand it. He has kind of limited understanding of things.
I love that I'm the one with a limited understanding of things when the most simplest thing is what you need to understand, that it's not up to the defense to prove that Proctor planted the taillight pieces. It's up to the prosecution to prove that Proctor didn't plant the taillight pieces. That is a fact. They have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that all of that evidence was collected and cared for and transferred from hand to hand on all the up and up, everything documented, everything bagged, tagged, the whole shebang in every second that in that evidence's existence. Every movement of it should have been logged. And it wasn't. Because we are aware of 5 undocumented searches where that was found. And the most and one of the initial pieces are found in the most strangest, craziest way that Berkowitz, the chief of police of Canton, just happened by and found a piece of taillight. And was like, oh, and then called Higgins, who's not assigned to the case. He was just in the house. Why is that? Why would he call Higgins? So this is the whole thing is it stinks and you're just too ignorant to admit it. I mean, this is so mind-blowingly obvious that there's something seriously wrong here. Nobody is you're saying that I don't have an understanding of things, but you're the one who doesn't seem to understand what I just explained, which is if the jury feels that it's possible that Proctor planted that evidence, then that's called doubt. And that evidence means nothing.
Sorry to say it, Will, but you kind of do. And it's also possible that because of the way Tom is saying this echo, so just somebody let me, there shouldn't be any echo. Okay, so sorry about the technical challenges we always have. And I have a new computer too, being it's only a few months old.
Somebody's got me screaming in the background.
But anyways, I think it's possible that because of the way that things are breaking in the case now, that Karen has put out the marching orders to her PR people, stop talking about the taillight, because it's a dead issue. Okay, but if it's a dead issue, and it is.
So is he accusing me of being on Karen Reed's PR team and I'm pitching this whole narrative of leave the taillight, it's, as a PR stunt to drop the PR, to drop the taillight issue? Is that what he's saying? Because that's very, very funny to me. Oh my goodness. I just did something to my computer that it freaked me out, but I got it back because I was like, oh shit, what do I do here? All right, we got to hear this again.
I think it's possible that because of the way that things are breaking in the case now, that Karen has put out the marching orders to her PR people, stop talking about the taillight, because it's a dead issue. Okay, but if it's a dead issue, there was, and it is.
No,
then she's going to have to plea here.
Not,
because there's no way to have a conspiracy without it. So I
mean,
put in a little bit. This
guy's acting like there's not an independent federal investigation into that that determined that there's no way that John O'Keefe's injuries are consistent with that of being hit by Karen Reed's vehicle with the damage that was done to it. There's just no way. I mean, common sense tells you this. All the FBI did was confirm it. I mean, that's all that happened. All the FBI did was confirm that. Because hold on a second. Okay. Where the fuck is it? Why can't I find it now? Oh, did he take it down? No, he didn't. Okay. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Okay. No!
It takes to bring this thing to an end. And should President Biden...
That shit is so fucking funny, dude. Oh my fucking god, dude. Okay. Okay, Betty Hill, stop. All right, let's get back to his live.
So then the question would be, what driveway would that be? And what would be the source of the video? Because the Canton police do not wear body cams. So it wouldn't be video of
Wonder
the
why
troopers walking in the driveway.
Why wouldn't
So
the Canton police?
I don't
wear
know if it
body
would indicate it here, but it doesn't say dash cam video. But I think something like that could go in as Canton Police Department driveway video. So that would potentially be 34 Fairview. If
what the fuck are you talking
the police department, one of the cruisers drove into the driveway, I'm not sure why they would, and I'm not sure why that would be of any evidentiary value, but I guess we can't rule that out. But another place that the Canton police probably went to at least one point would have been John's house.
No offense,
So
but you are
it's
a stupid asshole.
possible that the driveway video is from there. And, you know, we don't know. Like, we've never really understood why the Canton police didn't secure Karen's SUV. It's a legitimate question.
Okay, smartass. Let's see what this mystery's all about.
If they had determined early on that this was a hit and run, it seems to me that the most logical next step is to immediately, as quickly as possible, obtain the vehicle. so you can start protecting any evidence that it has on it. There could be evidence inside it. There could be evidence outside.
See what the chat's doing.
It seems to be very routine that they would do that. Now, that wasn't done here. So for the people that on the free Karen Reed side that are troubled by that, it's understandable. So why wasn't that secured? I don't know. Why did the police go there? If it wasn't to secure that.
This guy always has so many people trolling his chat.
Probably communication to the family of a cop, Boston cop, but a cop who was pronounced dead at 7:47. So I don't know. If there's some reason that the police went there into that driveway, what was parked there? Karen's SUV. So hopefully on that video will be some images, daylight images of the taillight. But so only time will tell on that. All right. So we had a couple of other things on here. Oh, I have to remind you.
We don't make mistakes.
Cleanup, the Gulf
we have happy accidents.
0. He's been wrong on everything. It's kind of extraordinary. All right, so this was big today too. Not sure if you guys can see this. All right, this is big, and I'm going to give you my interpretation of this. I left it on Twitter, and it's just an interpretation. It's not based on any particular evidence, except what's here. This court has received and reviewed a motion of Boston Globe Media Powers to terminate or modify impoundment orders. I intend, this is from the judge, and you can see it signed on the bottom. I intend to hold a hearing as soon as possible, preferably Tuesday, April 9th at 2 p.m. As a preliminary matter, I order the moving party to give notice and provide a copy of the motion to the United States Attorney's Office because the motion implicates materials in which they have an interest. So this, you may not seem it to a lot of people. This is a bombshell.
It's a bombshell.
This is the thing that may make this case linger in the public mind for many, many, many years. Okay. And it does not, as usual, keep in mind Sean's batting average. There's no question. It's 0. So he's going to have a very interpretation of this here. And I think you can go to his website and see it, or go to Twitter and see it. I'm going to give you my interpretation. All right.
Where do you get these fucking idiots, huh? Where do you get them?
Let's repeat. The moving party, the Globe, to give notice and provide a copy of the motion to the U.S. Attorney's Office. So what is in this motion? It says, now the reason that they want them to notify the U.S. Attorney's Office is because the motion implicates materials in which they have an interest. So the Globe is trying to find out materials that were in that stash that was turned over.
Trace the signal.
By the U.S. Attorney. Now, I believe that what they're trying to find out is what is the origination of the federal involvement in this case. And I think they're also going to try to find out what was the relationship between the defense team and the U.S. Attorney's Office. This is huge. This is huge. Now, to me, when I look at this, all right, why did the judge... She could have just dismissed this motion, or she could have ruled on it without holding a hearing. I find it really.
I think we got a super chat. I think we got a super chat.
Thank you so much, Suzanne. How the fuck is the media asking to unseal sealed documents a bombshell? My dog farts with more power. Thank you, Suzanne. I appreciate it. What are people saying about me here? So Rager Joe is going, when you guys get sick of this bullshit, the glare is live as well. And then what did Eldon Boyd say? Imagine uttering the words, the glare is live now.
really, really compelling and revealing that she's deciding to hold a hearing on this. All right. And she intends to hold a hearing as soon as possible. And now this has no relevance to the trial, right? So there's no reason that she couldn't hold off on this until after the trial, right? So why is she in this busy time when they're preparing for the trial, she's putting this on the agenda where she's now going to have the motion is from the Boston Globe. So the lawyers from the Boston Globe are going to come into court and it's going to be on TV and they're going to lay out the basis of their motion and why they want to see not necessarily the entire it's what does it say? 10 hearings to terminate. All right, so they're looking to terminate or modify impoundment orders. So basically take this,
it's the press, dude. What do you
and put it in the public domain so they can see it. But it says terminate or modify. So I think that's the way of saying is, so for instance, they're not going to ask to see, I don't think, the federal grand jury minutes because that's a sacred thing. It was even a friend of mine, my best friend from college is a judge now, and he was shocked that the feds gave this over to the parties.
I don't even understand.
It's a really
such a
precedent-setting case in so many ways. And then, so not only has that been impounded, that material, but there's a protection order that was negotiated between the sides and the federal government about that. But now that is in the hands of what to do with the materials in that is ultimately to be decided by the judge. So the ball's kind of in her court. Now, I'm not sure what legal guidelines will govern that, but it says to terminate or modify. So I think what they're going to ask her to do in court is to reveal very specific.
When you file a motion, for the judge to rule on, it comes up to the judge what the judge is going to rule on. It's usually how it works. At least I think so. I don't know.
Specific things. How did this federal investigation begin and what was their relationship with the defense team? Now, what this will do is the fact that she's ordering the party to notify the U.S. Attorney's Office is because it gives them a chance to do the thing that they have avoided doing so far, to send someone from their office and stand before the judge and explain what the hell's been going on. And they don't want to do that. They do not want to do that because it's embarrassing to them. They ran this incredible investigation, very intrusive, interfered with a murder case, all for nothing.
Oh my God.
They found nothing. And that's beyond this.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad.
Super chat.
I think we got
I think we got a super chat.
I think we got a super chat. I think we got a super chat. Super chat.
Mark Callahan, thank you so much. Fuck Plevin. Oh my God.
Dispute.
Thank you so much, Mark Callahan. Appreciate it.
They found nothing. We'll go over a little bit on the tape after, but they found nothing. Nothing that shows a conspiracy, nothing that shows a cover up.
Oh,
nothing that shows that John went
nothing
inside the house. Nothing.
Yeah, no, nothing. Not all the phone calls that took place just before Jennifer McCabe made a Google search of how long to die in the cold. Yeah, and then told the grand jury that it was a butt dial after they lied about it in the first place, and then came up with this bullshit story of a butt dial. No, there's no evidence of any type of conspiracy at all. Not at all.
If anything, as deep as they dug, based on the limit of what they found, they tended to actually kind of reinforce the state's case. Certainly, they've destroyed the third-party culprit theory. All right, because whatever thin tendrils that was built on, the fact that the feds went in and looked at all the messages in a way that only the feds could get, the messages of the troopers, the messages of all the witnesses in the house, and they found nothing suspicious. Yes, they found some odd things, communications from Julie to Proctor about things, the theory. All right, because whatever tendrils that was built on, the fact that the feds went in and looked at all the messages in a way that only the feds could get, the messages of the troopers, the messages of all the witnesses in the house, and they found nothing suspicious.
Okay. Why are you saying that the feds found nothing suspicious when the federal investigative findings are impounded? You don't know what's in them. Nobody does, except for the judge and the parties involved in the case directly. Nobody does, except for the defense, the prosecution, the judge. So what are you talking about? Why are you sitting here saying that they found nothing suspicious as fact when, first of all, we've already seen that they absolutely did find things that are suspicious because they were absolutely presented by the defense. So, yes, these things are suspicious. And yes, one would absolutely assume that the feds are going to find suspicious behavior in this, especially after in one of the letters they state that when Michael Morrissey's office says, I don't see why you would be looking into us over this case. And their response, the Fed's response was that, well, the U.S. attorney doesn't see it the same way, doesn't share your opinion on the Karen Reed case. So, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot here, Plevin, that you're just like acting like doesn't exist. But clearly, and then what's going to happen is Plevin's going to always revert to, when he's cornered with this logic, he's going to revert to, well, then Josh Levy is corrupt. And then no, he's not. There's nothing to make you think that. There's nothing that you've ever said that makes me go, better look into this. Nothing. Ever. I mean, it sounded like a bunch of people doing their jobs. Michael Morrissey's office was doing nefarious shit. The defense was not being there. The defense's client was being robbed of her Sixth Amendment right. And so they went to the police of who handles that. They went to the U.S. attorney. They filed a report. They submitted the evidence. That's not a conspiracy. That's someone filing an official complaint because they're victims of a crime. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, they found some odd things, communications from Julie to Proctor about a gift and things like that. These are things that you don't like. They're troubling, but they didn't find any communications that would have.
He sounds like
been instructions. Hey, Michael Proctor, we need some help framing someone for murder to help getting our son off the hook or our nephew off the hook. They didn't find anything like that.
No,
they would have.
They did.
All right. So they
absolutely did. When Kevin Albert contacted Higgins, I don't remember it verbatim, but it was something to the effect like, we're worried because you kind of dropped off and everybody has gotten a subpoena but you. So that's pretty telling. It sounds a lot like they're worried about something Higgins might say. That's what that sounds like a lot like. Especially like, I mean, they do that shit in the movies. You know what I mean? It's like that obvious. They do that shit in the movies. Hey, yo, you been a little quiet lately. You ain't thinking about snitching, is you? That's shit happens in the movies all the time. Plevin is giving the MSNBC version of this case. Oh, Cherry thought that, yeah, sorry.
I think we got a super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. Super chat. Super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. I think we.
Captain Skidmarks, thank you so much. Plevin is giving the MSNBC version of the case. Yeah, the bullshit version.
He ends the third party culprit theory. The federal investigation, it seemed to us at the beginning, it's a no brainer. You would want that if you're a defense team because that just is useful in creating doubt. But now that that's federal investigation seems to be mostly, it might officially be ongoing, but basically it's complete. And they didn't find anything. That tends to support this. That itself supports the state's case. So,
no, it doesn't.
This is where we're at on this. Will they send somebody to that hearing, and what will they argue?
That's the whole thing here. The crazy thing is, like, in almost every case, I could either be like this: the prosecution has this case, like with all the evidence they have, this shit is a lock, right? Every other case, that or, well, I could see the defense doing this. I mean, that doesn't. I could see them creating some doubt possibly here, but I could see there's that the prosecution has this that they're going to present. I don't see how the defense is going to weasel out of that. Blah 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 blah. There are many different cases that we've talked about on this channel. I've been here for 5 years where we've explored these things. This is the fascinating thing about this case is the fact that I look at this case and I'm just like, there's not a fucking thing that the prosecution has that is going to hold any water whatsoever in implicating Karen Reed in this crime. Nothing solid at all. I mean, even the data from her SUV, it's not even there. They don't have it. Why not? You know what I mean? Like, why not? Where is it? That reverse light or that reverse camera, man, there's got to be something, some sort of computer in the car that, I mean, it's a Lexus. It's going to record that. It's going to record it backing into something in some way, shape, or form. It is designed to do that. Right. Every piece of evidence is suspect. There's nothing solid that the prosecution has, which is what makes this so fascinating, is that they're moving forward with it. It's crazy to me.
And now that you have someone before the judge, now the judge can ask questions. What were you doing in this case? And I think, so when I look at this here, this to me has the fingerprints of Michael Morrissey all over it. This is Michael Morrissey striking back. I had been told since this summer by
Oh man, I'm sorry, guys. Fuck. Clever distracted me. So, no, the only thing, thank you guys. I appreciate it. The only thing Michael Morrissey is showing is fear. I mean, this is a fact. If you look at his actions Michael Morrissey is just showing fear. Here, buddy. Oh my God, Clever's hyper. No, go lay down. No biting. Kisses only. There you go. Good. No biting. Kisses only. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Oh my God. Go lay down, bro. Go lay down. Go lay down, please. Thank you. Right. I totally feel that. I totally believe that. Snatch. I believe that they absolutely I believe that data exonerates Karen Reed, and that's why it's not available. And for that to not be so blatantly obvious to people is crazy to me. I thought I was muted again. Like Benjamin John puts mute again twice. And I thought I was muted. I was like, fuck. So yeah, this is this is just silly, dude. Like it's so obvious. It's not even a winnable case
by various people. And then even more so after I started having some people from the other side that I was able to communicate with, that Michael Morrissey he's not someone to fuck around with. He's not a nobody. He's well regarded and has a lot of political connections. Now, listen, I'm not sticking up for Michael Morrissey or the weird press conference he did. I'm just saying he's not a weakling. He has a lot of strings that he can pull. And
dude,
he's a mainstream Democrat.
He straight up walks around like a fucking cartoon villain from the 80s, dude. He walks around like he's Cobra Commander and Tully is Destro. He walks around like he's Megatron and Tully is Starscream. He walks around like he is Skeletor and I don't know what Beast Fan wasn't the right one, right? Whatever. You got the picture. I mean, you just watch those people walk around and listen to the shit they say. Like the way that they address that one gentleman that was supposedly a murder suicide. I don't know what happened. But they don't either. Because Morrissey holds this press conference and he's got Tully like right next to him. And he's like, yeah, we've determined that domestic violence is a hell of a thing. And this is all right around the Turtle Boy thing, which is just so coincidental, right? And he makes it about domestic violence, but he's like, yeah, we walk in, we secure the scene. It was apparent that this was a murder suicide, and so there's no need for further investigation. And you're like, what? Like, that's it, huh? You don't need to ask anybody any questions, nothing. That's it. Case closed, huh? Great fucking police work. I was like, what am I watching? Is that for real? Clever, please go lay down. Yeah, it was the weirdest thing. It was the weirdest thing watching that.
In a state of Democrats.
I see Michael Morrissey as a man who is scared because there's no reason. There's absolutely no reason why people should not be allowed. Just the fact that you have the audacity to try to file a motion to suppress people's First Amendment rights tells me everything that I need to know about you, because you would not stoop to this point of desperation if you had a case against the person you're prosecuting. You just wouldn't. Oh my goodness, Sherry D. Oh my.
I think we got a super chat.
Super bad.
I think we got a super chat.
Super bad.
Super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. I think we got a super chat.
Yes, Clubber love. Thank you so much, Sherry D. I appreciate you. Yeah, Clubber is just awesome. And he listens, dude. He's just a good fucking dog, man. I gotta tell you, man. Like, just for a second, I gotta hold on. Like, give you guys, like, Clever is just the coolest, just good dog. Like, he's not even like really chewing anything up anymore. He's just like, you know, he's a little hyper. I keep having to buy new leashes because I like the ones that retract. You know, it's just a sacrifice I'm gonna have to make because he takes off after squirrels. You know, but for being as young as he is just the sweetest, kindest. He's even thoughtful. Like, he's just a good dog. I am absolutely and totally in love with this dog. I have been exponentially happier since I got him. He's just great. I mean, I had to, Rob Page. I had to. Yeah, it was what it was. It's just being a responsible pet owner.
The Democratic newspaper is the Boston Globe. So I do not find it at all coincidental that the Boston Globe, which has had very little interest in this case, suddenly
he's so spoiled. Like, he's so spoiled. I mean, I give him treats every time. Like, he doesn't pee or poop in the house ever, which is crazy. Like, it's almost like, I mean, I guess I was just on top of it. I was constantly walking him, constantly. And it was very easy, but yeah, he's now like, yeah, it's crazy. He's just a good listening, and I thought he was going to be a lot more difficult. I seriously did. I thought yeah, I thought he was going to be a lot more difficult. And he's not at all. Not considering his age.
Is filing a motion to find out what the federal origination of the case was. I just don't. Those are allies.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say, dude. You know what I feed him? Like, I feed him if I eat bacon, which is kind of rarely. I don't eat it that often, but if I eat bacon, then I save the grease, and I put like I take dry food, like Kibbles and Bits dry food, and then I take bacon grease if I have it, and I mix it in. But what I always do is I put sausage gravy, like sausage gravy, you know, in there, and mix it all up. And then I add wet food, like an envelope of like the Pedigree wet food, and mix it all up, like, and that's what he eats every night. So it's like, he's worth it. You know what I mean? Like, I enjoy being like, fuck yeah, dude, this is gonna be good. Mixing all that shit up just to make it like tasty for him. You know what I mean? Like the same way I would if I cooked for a person. It's just, yeah, like I just do that every single fucking time for him because it's like our thing, man. Like, I love like giving him treats and spoiling him. He's just a good dog, dude. He deserves everything. It's crazy.
Allies of Michael Morrissey that are making that happen. And I also don't believe that Judge Canone was completely out of the loop because, like I said, she didn't have to hold a hearing on this. But it's not corruption. It's because the corruption seems to have been on the federal end. And the judge seems to be doing everything she can to do a fair trial here and to bring justice. And she wants to know why the federal government is interfering in her trial, which it is. So she's going to take advantage of this. And all we're doing is this is
the federal government hasn't interfered in her trial, though. The federal government has not interfered in her trial. What trial are you watching? First of all, the trial hasn't even started yet. So how has the federal government interfered with their trial? The defense requested findings because those findings may exonerate their client. That is perfectly understandable. If the feds were conducting an investigation into the district attorney's office that is prosecuting the Karen Reed case, and they have uncovered things that could help exonerate their client, of course they're going to ask for that. And of course, the U.S. attorney's not going to have any reason to not cooperate. So they're not interfering. They're just being like, okay, well, yeah. Yeah, through our own investigation, we found this out. They're not working for the defense. You know what I mean? The defense came to them probably with information. I mean, I'm not even sure that's exactly what happened, but the defense probably came to them with information saying, hey, we are getting fucking railroaded here, man. This is bullshit. And this is why. And then they explain everything and how this case has been handled. And so that's definitely grounds for an investigation. Definitely. I would be demanding that there would be an investigation. Knowing everything that we know, if there wasn't a federal investigation, I would be up here spouting out, this needs federal intervention. This is fucking corruption. Straight up. All right, I'm going to fast forward to the.
Now, over time, a lot of these people do end up kind of switching, where they start out 80 or 90% free Karen Reed, and now some of them are fully switched and some of them are more in the middle. But they do tend to switch over time, as that's where the evidence is going. But there's a whole other class of free Karen Reed zombies that are incapable of thinking. All right. This not what I just said is not,
dude, I love this
something
guy.
That is disputable about the 2022 version of the software. All right. The state simply could not have had a 2023 version of Cellebrite software in 2022 unless they had a time machine. Software that Rich Green
let it go, dude. That was a learning opportunity. When Lauren schooled you the way that she did, that was a learning opportunity for you. That was absolutely a learning opportunity for you. And yet here you are ignoring it. She explained. Dude, you can't, again, there's no flux capacitor in the Cellebrite software. You know what I mean? It doesn't it doesn't go back and stamp something that happened in the past that was deleted. That doesn't happen. That's not possible. And why are they worded all differently, all three searches? Capacitator. Flux capacitator, teacher Pasha. What
used had not been written yet. And apparently it was written by this Ian Whiffen. This is how Lally describes it. Now, maybe you might think that is not going to turn out to be fully accurate. You can make that claim. But Lally is not someone that generally, he doesn't play the games like Alan Jackson and egregious distortions and misrepresentations. So I don't think that that's going to be the case. It might turn out to be the case that Ian Whiffen heads a small team of people that created the update for this software. I don't know. So we'll see more at the trial, but he is going to testify for the prosecution. And I read from his blog the other night with Lauren that shows he is very clear that this timestamp of 227, that the search did not happen there, that he had opened a browser tab and there's stuff about wall files and this and that.
No, man. They just can't conclude it. They just can't conclude it. All they're saying is that that a search did happen at 6:20 something.
And the tab was left
They're not
open.
saying the 227 search didn't happen. They're saying that the search at 6 something
And
did.
then went back into her phone at 6:23 and used that same tab, it created the false timestamp for that search. That's going to be very strongly argued by very elite people. Now, Alan Jackson says the FBI has found something different. Well, if they have, I don't think I would dispute or anybody would dispute that the FBI probably has some of the best forensic data people in the world, right? So that would be very interesting and possibly very compelling, right? Of course, you have
I mean, if that's the case and you're acknowledging this, Alan Jackson's not going to say that shit and not be able to prove it. It's a hell of a thing to say and not be able to prove. He's a professional. He's not going to do that. Nuh-uh. Is that for real? Wow. Plevin is a bozo. I mean, listen to him, dude. Nothing that he says is accurate.
The FBI's very highly esteemed and capable data people going up against the very highly esteemed Jessica Hyde, who's done a lot of work for the government too, and the guy who wrote the software, Ian Whiffen. So, but maybe there's still a dispute there. But the other thing, as I've pointed out, is as you're going to see here, and as we've already seen, Alan Jackson distorts everything. So we don't know exactly what he said. And what he's basing that off. He's reading from some kind of report. My guess is that the FBI got someone to run the 2023 version of the software, and not surprisingly, it produced the exact same result that Rich Green got. It does not mean it's accurate. It doesn't mean that the FBI reached a full conclusion on that. Once we see that FBI report,
I guess his internet went out. Plevin, where'd you go?
Lally has said that we have no idea what percentage of the what the feds found that they've turned over to the sides here. Is 5%, 95%? They didn't say. The feds have been very arrogant here, and just you don't know, right? And
what the fuck is the point of what he's saying in any of this?
Supposedly the investigation may be ongoing. And so I guess if you want to cling some hope, you can say they're still going to find something that they haven't found yet, right? But then he also says that we have no idea what the feds took in terms of evidence, because they didn't accept or ask for any evidence from the state, from the prosecutors. Instead, whatever they got from the defense. So maybe the defense gave them all of it. Maybe they gave them half of it. No, they don't know.
Percentage of the total discovery from the state case was actually given and provided to the U.S. Attorney's Office in which to conduct their investigation. But it's clear from the investigation that they extensively investigated the facts and circumstances that led to Mr. O'Keefe's death. In sum, what I would submit, just as Ms. McLaughlin stated on the last day, that these materials are largely consistent with the Commonwealth's theory of the case. There is no suggestion of a third-party culprit, no suggestion of cover-up evidence, no suggestion from 13 civilians' witnesses' testimony that we've received, or transcripts of that testimony. All of them confirm that Mr. O'Keefe never entered 34 Fairview Road. All of it was absolutely no animosity between the individuals at the Waterfall Bar or at 34 Fairview residence. There was no fight. There was no dog attack. There was no eyewitness to the circumstances that led to Mr. O'Keefe's death. Witnesses also testified consistent a year later. They testified in the state grand jury in the spring of 2022, largely in
What
the
the
spring
fuck
of
are you talking
2022,
about?
and then largely in the spring of 2023 before the federal grand jury. And their testimonies are largely consistent with the defendants making declarative statements that she did it, not a question mark at the end, but clear definitive statements on scene, that she had discussed the damage to her taillight prior to leaving Mr. O'Keefe's home on the morning of January 29th.
So the feds found no evidence that John went inside the house. No evidence of a dog attack. No evidence of a fight. No evidence of any kind of. Remember, Alan Jackson this summer tried to say that John went into a setup inside that house. They found no evidence of any animosity. Keep in mind, the reason they were at the waterfall was because Chris Albert, who's friends with John, invited him there that afternoon when John went with his nephew for a grinder at the sub shop. And then when later at the night when they were out and John was drinking with a friend at McCarthy's, Chris texted him, "Hey, we're over here, come on over." So there's nothing that the defense has put out. Everything that Turtle Boy has put out since April has been a lie or a distortion. Some of it you may not have known is a lie because it was.
How is it a lie when you show fucking pictures? How is it a lie when you show fucking pictures? I mean, Plevin, come on, dude. Like, I would even take Turtle Boy shit with a grain of salt if I didn't see the receipts that he provided with it. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's just dumb.
He was duped by the defense. But at this point, the evidence is clear that nothing in the third-party culprit works. The GPS shows that John's phone could not have went in the house. All right. None of the witnesses, no witnesses, including the witnesses in the truck that Ryan Nagel was in, saw John ever walking up the driveway, saw him walking into the house. None of the witnesses went and cut a deal with the feds.
The thing is you're saying everything is a lie means person is gaslighting. I mean, it can mean that, but I don't fully agree with that. I mean, the thing is like there's sometimes people that do fucking lie all the time, and they're usually the ones that are accusing someone of lying constantly, which is really, really fantastic. Like, if you look at Grant, like, nothing Grant says makes any sense, and it's always like baseless, right? So most of them are just fucking lies. You know what I mean? So nobody takes him seriously. They're just like, you fucking idiot. You know what I mean? Because the things that he says are just so outrageous and come from such an outrageous place of just weird emptiness. It's very strange. But I don't know, man. I have a real hard time with people like this because they're so sure, or at least they sound like they're so sure of their position in something, but they can't back it up with any logic whatsoever. I mean, you see what I mean? Like, there's always, like, you can't believe that. So, like, I wouldn't say that it's absolutely gaslighting someone necessarily, because there are those people out there that lie, you know, like constantly. Like, Grant constantly fucking lies. Like, we're listening to Plevin right now make shit up, like as if it's just, you know, like as if it's fact.
And they would have to save their own skin, right? None of it happened. So there was the feds didn't uncover any unusual messages from any, but nobody came out later on and, you know, of the 11 people that were in the house and told their friends, "Oh my God, you won't believe what happened in the house. I'm so scared that you won't." They would have talked, right? And the word would have got around. Nothing. We all kept wondering that last summer if somebody had heard something and some of that was going to emerge. Nope, never did. Did Brian Scanlon hear something? Nope, he didn't. We've got his testimony now. He never heard anything, never knew anything. He just thought there was something maybe funny here, was looking for some work, and went into Yannetti's office. It was Yannetti that told him about the possibility of calling. Scanlon had nothing. All right. And at some point, normal people have to realize when they're being swindled. Sean never will.
Dude.
The young jellyfish never will. Aiden never will. Aiden might know it, but he's never going to. Aiden has no integrity. He has no desire to be honest with his audience. It's all a grift. It's all a way to sell T-shirts and to run a cult. And that's just the reality of it. I'm not saying that because I have something personal against Aiden. I don't. I didn't know him before this case. I'd rather get along with everybody.
I mean,
But what's going on here is not a debate between who's going to win the Super Bowl.
Dude. How can you say things like it's all just like a magic show, when there's just clear evidence? Because not only are you looking at, dude, everything that Turtle Boy has uncovered meshes. It meshes with what the feds have uncovered. It meshes with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, here you have Turtle Boy who uncovers the fact that the McCabe's and the Proctors have a personal relationship, a personal friendship, right? Turtle Boy uncovers this, right? Then you have the federal investigation, which shows that there's contact between the Proctors and the Alberts, where they're exchanging offers for gifts. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is there a possibility that Turtle Boy saying something like that them having this personal friendship would be far-fetched, and you'd be like, get the fuck out of here, that's crazy? But I mean, I might think that had he not brought receipts of like pictures of them all hanging out and being in the same wedding and all that shit. You know what I mean? Like all the Facebook posts and the Proctors are a second family to me, or whatever the fuck somebody's mom said, Michael Proctor's mom said. I mean, that's all stuff that Turtle Boy had uncovered. Turtle Boy got charged with conspiracy because through his investigations and through a source, he uncovered the fact that there was that Jennifer McCabe's Jeep was parked at Michael Proctor's house. Why the fuck is a witness at the investigator's house? This is all through Turtle Boy's investigations. But then separately, completely separate from Turtle Boy, the federal investigation, which Turtle Boy has nothing to do with. They're never going to answer or talk to him in any way, shape, or form. Hell, if I had to guess, I'd say Turtle Boy was even smart enough to even not even bother to ask. I mean, I don't know, but I'm saying, like, I don't see the FBI sharing anything. You get what I'm saying? I don't see the FBI being quick to share anything in their investigation. I mean, that's why it's impounded. We can't see, it's not available to the public. But here we see what Turtle Boy uncovers independently, and then you see what the FBI and their own independent investigation uncovers, and it absolutely meshes with what Turtle Boy had uncovered. So to me, this legitimizes Turtle Boy's investigations. So right there, basically, I just broke it down for you, Plevin, as to why what you just said about him is wrong, is just not true. I mean, it's just not true. You can't say this about someone without any way to back it up. And it's right here, just easily disproven. All you have to do is just look up one of his blogs. I mean, it's not distorted facts. I mean, there's a lot of opinions, don't get me wrong. But I mean, I know I have enough common sense to read a Turtle Boy blog, realize that it's very opinionated, and not allow it to sway my own opinion when I read it. I have enough of that. I have enough. I'm perfectly capable of independent thought in that regard. I don't know if you know anything about that, but I'm perfectly capable of that. But that's what he does. He gives you the facts, and then he gives you his opinion on those facts. But the facts are there nonetheless for you to make your own opinion on. That's up to you whether you choose to do that or not. If you just latch on to Turtle Boy's opinion because he wrote it, well, then that's a you problem. That's not a him problem. He's perfectly entitled to his opinion as much as anybody else. But like I said, I know enough to go, okay, well, there's Turtle Boy's opinion. It doesn't necessarily mean it's mine. I mean, what is the problem, dude?
Super Bowl next year, or who the Patriots should draft. There are innocent people here being smeared and having their lives ruined by an angry, unthinking mob. Okay, now if you want to criticize the investigation, that's fair game. Every investigation should be fair game for that. And so if you want to say there's reasonable doubt based on a shoddy investigation, and that's something you want to look into, I think that that's very important. But to start pointing the finger at innocent people and trying to destroy them is wrong. It's cruel. And no one should really accept these people in their life anymore as friends. People that do this, now I'm not talking about people that just have a passing interest in the case, but anybody who's out there and has a YouTube channel on this, that's still running with this third-party culprit theory, is not a good person. And they never will be, because it gets to the heart of who they are. The kind of people that could accuse innocent people and say they belong in jail, like Nick Rocco, to go on JAMA 94.5 and say that Jen McCabe is a murderer a couple of days ago. He's a foul human being. And I'm sorry if that seems angry, but he's a foul human being because he knows enough evidence that if he has a brain, he can weigh this and understand that John did not go in the house.
I have an interesting
it's just
thought
not
on
forgivable
this.
anymore.
I have an interesting thought on this, okay? See if I can stay on track here. Now, normally I would agree with Plevin. Okay? It's nice that he's saying, well, okay, if you want to, I mean, he's actually very much, he's telling you there's plenty of reasonable doubt. He's admitting that there's plenty of reasonable doubt. I mean, if there's plenty of reasonable doubt, well, then you got to just come to the conclusion that Karen Reed is not going to go to prison for this. But there's that. But he goes on to say that to take it any further than that and then accuse innocent people of something so terrible, normally I would agree with him on this. This is true. The problem, though, is that there's a lot of inconsistencies with those people. And the thing is, this is the indisputable fact that you cannot escape from. It's a locked room and you're not getting out. This you can't get away from this. Sorry, I got distracted by chat here. If you're going to believe that Karen Reed is innocent, okay, and there's plenty to indicate this, plenty to indicate this. If you're going to believe that Karen Reed is innocent, there's only one place that you can go. There's only one place your attention can go to from Karen Reed, and that is inside 34 Fairview. There's no other way around it. There's, again, it's a locked room. You're in it. You're not getting out. There's no way to get out of that fact and get away from it. There's no other place to go. So if you believe that Karen Reed is innocent, then you believe that the very people who have displayed indisputably shady fucking behavior, all of them displayed very, very shady behavior. They've lied. They have relationships with the investigators. This is all very, very troubling. All of these things. So, I mean, yeah, I'm not going to go as far as to call any of these people innocent. I can't call these people innocent because they are not being cooperative. They are grandstanding. They're grandstanding. What they're basically doing is what Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell did when the press would approach them in random places going, hey, where are your kids? Where are your kids? Where are your kids? And they're just living their best life. Like, la, 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 la. We don't have to tell you. You're nobody that we have to answer to. And that's basically what these people have been doing. This is what's troubling about it. Is they've all lied, and yet they're all, because they're involved in law enforcement in some way, shape, or form, they're grandstanding. They're not even trying to act like they're innocent. They're not releasing public statements. I mean, it's fascinating when you think about it. There's no other place to go. And when you go to that place, inside 34 Fairview, the very early morning hours of January 29th, 2022, it's a bunch of people who turned out to be a lot of liars who have acted incredibly shady. And nothing about John's death adds up. The injuries, the circumstances, nothing adds up. This is the issue. I mean, just find me somebody who doesn't hate Turtle Boy that thinks Karen Reed's guilty, and I'd love to have a conversation with them. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm muted again. Find me somebody who thinks that Karen Reed is legitimately guilty and does not hate Turtle Boy. The thing is, it's like I mute my mic. Sometimes I don't tap it when I think I did. And I mute my mic, and because so all I got to do is tap it to mute it, and it's yeah, the entire investigation's fucked. Yeah, so sometimes I think I got it and I didn't, but I try to mute. What happens is as I mute, because I don't want to be like Plevin, and I don't want you guys hearing me like sip my coffee and swallow it. You know, it's I just think that sound is like right into a microphone is, you know, if you can avoid that, do it, please. You know,
It's people are buying into this theory for their own benefit, for their own reasons, and it's disgusting. And I'm not going to just be civil about that. It's unacceptable. So let's go back to some more loud.
I mean, again, like I said,
Google search and
if it wasn't for like the cornucopia of facts that we have on these people, I would feel the exact same way that he does. I would absolutely feel the same way that he does. I would be like, yeah, anybody doing that is a piece of shit. You don't got nothing on these people, but the problem is we have so much. That's the issue. Like, you guys see me, all my other content is like yelling at creators who are accusing people of shit without any fucking evidence. I'm like, you don't have nothing to indicate that these people are guilty of a crime? The fuck are you talking about? But in this case, it's the exact opposite. It's the exact opposite. There's a shit ton of evidence that looks shady as fuck. And it looks like the people who are being accused that Plevin is saying are innocent victims, they're fucking grandstanding, is what it looks like. I mean, you're going to tell me they're not grandstanding when Michael Morrissey himself is grandstanding by trying to implement a ruling from the judge, putting the judge in a position where she has to like take away people's First Amendment rights? There's something seriously fucking wrong that Judge Canoni decided that was going to be okay. Like, she would not put her foot down and go, listen, this is a slippery slope. We can come up with some sort of thing here, but these people are allowed to be on the courthouse steps. I'm not going to tell people what they can and cannot wear. This is America. This is the birthplace of America. I mean, this is the conceptual place of America. I mean, but she didn't do that. And this is what I would expect any civil servant to do who works for any government entity in this country. I would expect them to do that. I would expect them to defend the rights of the people. And those people that are being affected by this have nothing to do with this case. So it was absolute grandstanding on Michael Morrissey's part to do that. Like, how can anyone see that this is not the act of a bully? This is the act of a bully. This is the behavior of a bully, a scared, insecure bully. Someone who acts out and hurts people because they're bigger. But inside they're, this is the behavior of Michael Morrissey throughout everything that we've been watching. This is undeniable. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the thing is make no mistake that when this trial starts, I mean, the things that we're going to hear in this trial are going to be crazy. For sure, for sure, for sure. This is going to be one of the craziest trials ever. But the thing is I just don't have a whole lot of faith. A lot of my hope is based on the idea that Jackson and Yannetti will be able to present their evidence, everything that they have. The jury will get to see everything that they have as far as what they plan on saying about the FBI investigation, everything. The U.S. Attorney's Office investigation, everything. So I'm hoping, and like all my hope is based on the idea that the jury's going to hear all this. But we have to remember that Beverly Canoni is the one who's going to decide what the jury hears and what the jury doesn't hear. And I'm not confident in Beverly Canoni's decision making. at this point. And I feel that that's very fair. I feel that that is absolutely 100% fair. That I have a lack of faith in Beverly Cannoni's decision making.
And I would agree with counsel in the sense that it's really no longer open for debate, but I'm not really sure why we're still even talking about this or why this is still a topic that they're pushing. Essentially, what we have is, yes, what counsel mentions is there is one expert who was given 2 extractions, presumably provided by defense counsel, that indicates from that particular FBI expert that the searches were done at 2-something in the morning. What counsel neglects to sort of raise and stress with the court is that there's a separate, and I forget exactly what it stands for, but an RCFL analysis of the phone in which through both Axiom and through Celebrite, and that conclusion of that expert is that the searches occurred when Ms. McCabe testified they occurred because the defendant asked her to conduct those searches at 6:23 and 6:24 in the morning. Really, the argument stops at the point of it's not, we didn't do our job to get the Cellbrite version that shows that information did not exist at the time of the grand jury. So I'm not really sure how the Commonwealth is supposed to run something through a Cellbrite version that isn't in existence at the time the grand jury is conducted. It's a subsequent version in which their expert, Mr. Green, finds these purported search without looking at the cache files, without looking at the DB list, without looking at the SQLite database, without looking at the wall file, all of which was done not only by Trooper Garino, an independent expert named Jessica Hyde, which counsel has all of that.
Isn't the Boston Globe like fighting the idea of, I mean, what's the name of the lady that interviewed Karen Reed? And the prosecution is trying to get access to, I mean, right there's another example. The prosecution's out here trying to get access to the off the record recordings or notes, whereas they can't even produce to the defense the notes in the investigation taken by the investigators, by the lead investigators. Explain that shit to me. Yeah, Gretchen Voss. Thank you, guys. Yeah, so I believe I remember distinctly hearing Gretchen Voss's attorney speak for her and say that they don't want to give them up because that's protecting their source. That's called journalistic integrity, protecting one's source. Oh, but she's not the Globe, right? It's am I talking about 2 different things? I could be. I could be. Boston Magazine. Okay. All right. I am getting them confused. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, so now I don't know what the fuck's going on with the Globe. The Globe got involved. Didn't the Globe get involved with the decision for the buffer? Y'all are fucking killing me. I mean, it's just so crazy that, like, look at that. Like, look at these things that they're trying to do. They're straight up trying to like get judges to rule on violating people's rights constantly. Like and they're acting like it's just another day in court to do that shit. And I would doubt myself. Like, that's enough to gaslight me into thinking like, well, I don't know the law. I mean, they wouldn't be doing that shit unless it was on the up and up. Not so fucking blatantly like that. If the FBI wasn't involved, if the Department of Justice wasn't involved, if the U.S. Attorney's Office wasn't involved, I wouldn't be thinking that. I would probably fall for the gaslight and be like, well, that's how this shit fucking works. I mean, it doesn't seem right to me, but I mean, if they can do it, then they can do it. You know, I think it sucks. You know what I mean? But you know, but it's clear that they're violating people's rights and just being like, yep. You know, and it's like, what? Like, why did they take Karen's phones? To prove what? Like, everything is hinging on, I'm telling you, the prosecution strategy here is to, they have to defend themselves against the defense. The defense is coming at them hot with a bunch of shit that makes them look shady. It makes their investigators look fucked up. Like, I don't mean just like, I mean, what the fuck are they doing? Red Solo cups, leaf blowers, not documenting anything. I mean, if I'm on a jury and I'm hearing this, I'm going to go, what the and they're friends with the witnesses and they're hanging out. All of this shit is going to be so overwhelming. You know what I mean? Like, so the prosecution has to defend themselves against this defense. And what they're going to do is they're going to use the fact this is why Turtle Boy's charges were a setup from the beginning. I'm telling you, this is what the purpose was for. It was for the Karen Reed case because he's the source of a lot of the evidence that they're going to fucking use, that the defense is going to use to attack the prosecution. He's a source of a lot of that evidence. And so what's going to happen is they are trying to set up this whole thing that they colluded and tried to fuck with the media and blah, 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 and all of these smoke and mirrors to try to distract the jury and make Turtle Boy, plant the seed that Turtle Boy is a nefarious human being because they get to put that cherry on top. They get to hide it all with this particular whipped cream, and that whipped cream being the fact that he did 69 days in jail. Like they're hiding the lack of bananas in the banana split with whipped cream, and that whipped cream is the fact that he did those 69 days in jail. So when the jury hears that he did 69 days in jail for witness intimidation, then what they're going to do is they're going to look at Turtle Boy like he's a bad guy. That's the strategy from the prosecution. It's to discredit the source of a lot of the evidence that the defense is going to use to show that to discredit the prosecution. That's exactly what their strategy is. Discredit the discreditor. I thought I heard Turtle Boy say 69 days total, but okay, 60. I mean, I know it was supposed to be 60 days. Yes, Benjamin John. Well, Sarah, you're right. You're right. I mean, this is what I'm saying is there's so much already. Like they trampled on rights. But see, here's the thing, Sarah, is we know this because we've been following. You've got to think like a juror here. Okay. We know this because we've been following the Turtle Boy saga. We've been following the Turtle Boy and the Karen Reed saga in real time. We've been following it all. Right? But the jury hasn't, most likely. They shouldn't be on the jury if they have. So the jury has not. So if you're a juror, you may not hear. It all depends on whether or not Jackson and Yannetti, how much time they plan on investing in showing that Turtle Boy was railroaded and that this was their purpose. If they can do this quickly, if they can prove what I'm saying to the jury quickly, a lot quicker than I am right now, well, then you got it. But the problem is that you're going to have to show evidence. You'd have to go through the charges. You can tell this man was absolutely railroaded. Turtle Boy was absolutely railroaded. It was very easy to think, okay, well, they're just going to, it's to shut him up. And we were racking our brains this entire time. We were racking our brains going, why would they do this? All they're doing is martyring him. All they're doing is martyring Turtle Boy. It turns out, I'm of the opinion now that it turns out that they didn't care that they were martyring him. A detail that's an easy sacrifice. Que sera, sera, whatever. All that matters is that when we go to trial and the defense tries to present this evidence that is going to seem exculpatory to Karen Reed, we get to discredit the source of that because he did this many days in jail for witness intimidation. And they communicated with each other. The defendant and him communicated with each other. This is what they're going to do. Like, I'm willing to bet on it. I'm willing to bet on it that this is exactly what the prosecution had in mind the very day that they charged Turtle Boy initially. I mean, it's foolish. It's almost foolish not to. Like, the thing is it doesn't make any sense. Like everything else, it's too brazen. Like, even hiring Ken Mello was part of this plan because nobody else would ever touch doing something like that because it's absolutely false. There's no way you're going to get a conviction, and you're absolutely impeding on his freedom of the press rights. So it's going to be a shitstorm. You're going to be reprimanded by the bar for this. There's no other way around it. Who better than Ken Mello? Who better than a guy who's already been reprimanded by the bar twice? Who better than a guy you can't even find on the internet? Who better than a guy who can't even spell the word office on his own website correctly? Who better? Who better than a guy walking up to the courthouse the way that he did that day that you look at him and there's nothing to take seriously. The guy can't even show up on time. Ken Mello is a joke. He's an expendable piece of nothing that Michael Morrissey is using so that on the record in the Karen Reed trial, during the Karen Reed trial, when Turtle Boy's name is brought up, it is smeared. It is muddied because he did the time in jail. And witness intimidation is slapped all over his name. That's the whole, I truly believe that that's exactly what the whole point of it was from the very, very beginning. So it all depends on what Jackson and Yannetti plan on doing to preserve that. You know, we have no idea what their strategy for trial is going to be. That's another thing that we need to keep into consideration here, folks. We have no idea what the nature of their trial, what the nature of their defense strategy is going to be. I mean, we have an idea because of everything that we've seen them present in these hearings, of course. What I'm saying, though, is now that those hearings are over and now everything that they went for pre-trial fell through, like their motion to dismiss and their motion to disqualify, now that that didn't work, I wonder what they're going to do moving forward. I wonder how that affects the information that they would use in order to file those motions I wonder how they would work in trial. And I wonder if they even plan on employing them. So, yeah, right now, I mean, it's a whole new ball game. We didn't see necessarily, we didn't see what Jackson and Yannetti are planning to use as a strategy in her trial. What we saw was them try to avoid a trial with every effort that they could. And now they're going to trial. You see what I'm saying? So that's where we're at now. So the thing is to me, that leaves all possibilities open as to what their approach is going to be here. I mean, it could be anything. It could just be, like I said before, it could just end up being just poke holes in everything that the prosecution is going to bring to the table. It's very easy to do. It's very easy to do. The fact of the matter is that the investigators poke those holes for the defense already. The defense doesn't even have to do it. They just have to show it. That's all. And it's not difficult to do. If I can see it, these very trained and able defense attorneys are going to be able to present this to a jury in a very compelling manner. I guarantee it. I have no doubt in my mind whatsoever. So at the very least, Karen Reed is walking out of there a free woman. At the very least, Karen Reed is walking out of there as a free woman, and as a free woman who just the prosecution failed to present a solid enough case against. That's at the very least. That's worst case scenario. There's no fucking planet that exists, no plane, no realm that exists where our justice system exists, and the you're going to get 12 jurors to convict Karen Reed on what the prosecution has. It's just never going to happen. It's too weak. It's just too weak. It'll at least be a hung jury. It'll at least be a hung jury. No. See, this is the thing, is the way that the defense has been handling this case. That would be, if they were to do that, that would be the Casey Anthony, result. But everything, again, is on the record. Like, there's too many people that believe that Karen Reed is, like, again, you can't unring that bell. You can't put that toothpaste back in the tube. There's too many people. This case is way too public. And all of the doubts in Karen Reed's case are way too public. So at this point, even if she's acquitted for a lack of ability for the prosecution to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that she's guilty, I mean, even if that's the case, she's not going to get Casey Anthony. Nobody around here with any sense is walking around going, she's guilty. She absolutely fucking did it. And at the same time, even if somebody is, chances are, if they're logical thinkers, chances are, I mean, like, let's just say people who haven't took the deep dive into the case like we have, but they're logical people still. The worst case is they're going to think that it was an accident. The worst case scenario is they're going to think that it was an accident, but they're not going to think that this is some murdering piece of shit that shouldn't be walking around the street like Casey Anthony. Nobody's going to look at Karen Reed like that after this, because too much has been uncovered to show that that's just not the case. This is not a cold-blooded killer who's getting away with murder. This is someone who we heard audio evidence of her trying to save the man's life and being the only one trying to save the man's life. You know how I know? Because it could be argued, well, Jen McCabe tried to save his life too because she called 911, didn't she? Yeah, but we heard that 911 conversation, didn't we? At least her end of it. We heard her fail to identify John O'Keefe as a police officer. We heard her say that she thought that he was already dead, which might affect response time that could have possibly saved his life, but also indicates that she fucking probably assumed that he was dead, considering that her phone searched how long to die in the cold at 2:27 a.m. We heard her make absolutely no effort whatsoever to knock on the door or enter the home of her own sister, where she could have gotten towels to try to warm him up, towels, blankets, whatever, to try to warm up John O'Keefe. She made absolutely no effort whatsoever to implement a police officer who might have first aid skills that could save a fellow officer's life. She made no effort to go inside the house and get help to try to save his life. This was somebody she considered her friend. Everything I'm saying is fact. So I'm not feeling sorry for these people. I'm not feeling sorry for the way that they've handled things. I'm not feeling sorry for them because Turtle Boy has put them in a position to where they have questions that should be answered, that they need to answer for. Because these questions are extremely valid. The questions that Turtle Boy has imposed, as the questions that Karen Reed's attorneys have imposed on the Proctors, on the McCabe's, on the Alberts, are all absolutely valid questions. And the public deserve answers, but most of all, John O'Keefe's loved ones deserve those answers. Karen Reed and her family deserve those answers. I mean, this is and again, why the lack of police support from the Boston Police Department? The public absence of the support. I'm not saying that the support isn't there. I'm saying I'm saying that it is absent from the public. Why? Why is that? Why aren't they publicly demanding justice for their fallen brother in blue at these Karen Reed hearings specifically? And my theory is because they don't believe that Karen Reed did it. And they don't want us. And if they go in there in support of Karen Reed, well, they're standing against another brother in blue, Brian Albert. And I think the absence of Boston police officers in support for their fallen brother, John O'Keefe, from these hearings says a lot. Because I think they're all great men and women, most likely. The majority of them, at least. Great men and women who want to show their support, but are in a very, very awkward position to where they cannot. And that is what my personal belief is. But hopefully this federal investigation shows us enough to make us all feel confident that John O'Keefe at the end of the day will absolutely get justice. I have to believe that with my entire heart. I have to believe that. So anyways, guys, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I had a great time with you guys as always. Thanks. I hope I'll be in with you guys at least some point during the weekend, I'm sure. So we'll do something, I promise. I love you guys very much. You guys are fantastic. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for hitting the like. Thanks for all the support. I love you guys very much, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.